Hey guys, welcome to my review of Mega Man 10. This review is for the Wii Virtual Console version, but it's going to be available next week on the PSN and Xbox Live as well. After the success of the 8-bit retro-style gameplay from Mega Man 9, Capcom returns another retro-style Mega Man game less than 2 years later. If you aren't familiar with Mega Man, I'm not sure what to say to you, but if you are a fan of Mega Man, you'll recognize the same jump-and-run gameplay you've come to love from the original series. As in all Mega Man games, you choose one of 8 robot masters, each with individual levels, and upon beating each boss you gain his power, which can then be used throughout the game. And each robot master has a weakness to a certain weapon. Finding out Robot Master's weakness is a huge help in Mega Man, because later on in the game, you will inevitably be facing them all again. In Mega Man 9 and 10, Capcom opted to remove Mega Man's charging ability, sticking to the core classic gameplay from 1 and 2 on the NES. Mega Man 10 doesn't change much in the classic Mega Man formula. The one big feature is the possibility to use Proto Man to play through the game. In most of the footage for this review, I'll be playing as Mega Man, and that's just personal preference. I preferred the older Mega Man games before he developed the charging and sliding abilities, and they've given those to Proto Man in this game. And it could be also fun to play as Proto Man from the beginning, though it does note when you start that the rankings don't count when you pick as Proto Man. I found difficulty very reasonable. In the 2 or so hours playing to get footage for the review, I beat half the Robot Masters, but if you find it a little too much for you, the game does also contain an easy option when you start it up. There's a nice variety of old and new enemies with new attack patterns to learn, and all the levels also have a sub-boss fight to break up the action. And some of these can get a little tricky. There are a couple where it took me a couple tries to figure out the trick for them. There's not much more I can say about the gameplay, other than that it's more of the same, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's classic 8-bit style gameplay, the sound is great, and the music is great as well. There's a few catchy 8-bit tunes, and everything has that old retro feel, which I'm sure you'll like if you're a fan of retro games and if you're a fan of the NES style. To play the game, you can use the Wiimote on the side in the style of NES controller, or you can use the classic controller. It doesn't have support for the GameCube controller, and neither did Mega Man 9, though I'm not sure why. Personally, I'm using my Nintendo controller that you've seen in my other videos that I've converted to work on the Wii. If you played Mega Man 9, this game is in my opinion just as good, and if you missed out on 9 and were a fan of the original series on the NES, then this game will be right up your alley. It's a great addition to the Virtual Console library, in my opinion, and I like that it's also going to be on PSN and Xbox Live. I believe Mega Man 9 was as well, but it's definitely great. I don't like that one console thing. I like for it to be spread out. And I wish more companies would follow Capcom's example and make these retro games, because as we all know, there's a lot of retro gamers left that still want to play the old style games, and there is something to the old game compared to the new ones. There's just some magic in the old style that we're kind of losing with these new games. Now, I really didn't want to give you anything away, because I want you guys to play this game for yourself and experience it. But I did find out one boss weakness while I was playing, and you guys are watching it right now. So here's a hint. And it is pretty easy because it's the fire type guy and the water hurts him. So you might have guessed anyway. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for watching my review, and be sure to check back on my channel for more cool stuff.